Boom, Trump just made a massive move on 9 sanctuary jurisdictions. It's happening. The Trump administration's Justice Department stepped up its warnings to sanctuary cities Friday by demanding that 9 sanctuary jurisdictions either follow the law or risk losing federal grants. The California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation was among those notified, as were Chicago, New Orleans, Philadelphia, Las Vegas, Miami, Milwaukee, New York City, and Cook County. We're pleading with the cities, let's don't have a fight over this, said Attorney General Jeff Sessions. So I hope we don't tend into a fight, but we're perfectly willing to do whatever I can to ensure that we have the kind of unified effort that protects America. However, the letters sent to the 9 jurisdictions spoke of penalties if cooperation does not take place. Failure to comply with this condition could result in the withholding of grant funds, suspension or termination of the grant, ineligibility for future Office of Justice programs, grants or subgrants, or other action, as appropriate, wrote Acting Assistant Attorney General Alan R. Hardin. Hardin's letter said all those that were notified need to prove in writing to the Justice Department they are in compliance with federal law. All of the jurisdictions targeted have policies in place that bar local police agencies or jails from assisting federal agencies with immigration enforcement. In a statement, the Justice Department said the cities are crumbling under the weight of illegal immigration and violent crime, citing the increase in gang violence in New York City and the continued rise in murders in Chicago. The statement also said the jurisdictions have badly skewed priorities. And just several weeks ago in California's Bay Area, after a raid captured 11 MS-13 members on charges including murder, extortion and drug trafficking, city officials seemed more concerned with reassuring the legal immigrants that the raid was unrelated to immigration than with warning other MS-13 members that they were next, the statement said. Ever since President Donald Trump took office, he and Sessions have sought to convince sanctuary cities to partner with the federal government or face the consequences. Trump issued an executive order in January that threatened to cut funding to cities that refuse to cooperate. Sanctuary jurisdictions across the United States willfully violate federal law in an attempt to shield aliens from removal from the United States. These jurisdictions have caused immeasurable harm to the American people and to the very fabric of our republic, Trump's order said. Only Miami, among major metro areas, said it would drop its sanctuary policy. In late March, Sessions sent a second warning. The American people know that when cities and states refuse to help enforce immigration laws, our nation is less safe, Sessions said. Such policies cannot continue. They make our nation less safe by putting dangerous criminals back on the street. Sessions, at that time, warned that the Justice Department could either cut off funding to cities that do not comply, or claw back funding already granted. China just did something for Trump they never did for Obama. Did you support this move? Obama's largest failure was foreign policy. He hurt American dominance and allowed foreign leaders to take advantage of us. Now, President Trump is reminding the world that we are the global superpower. The tough tactics of President Trump are forcing China to abandon their longtime ally, North Korea. Instead, they are supporting America in our attempt to rein in the rogue nation. Via CNN. China's Foreign Ministry spokesman Liu Kang praised President Trump in recent statements, vowing to work with American officials to disarm the nuclear capabilities of North Korea. China would never have ceded to the limp-wrist approach of the Obama administration. North Korea has been ramping up their aggressive testing of nuclear devices since their military parade, which was held last week. The despotic regime vowed to continue with weekly missile tests, though America has demanded they stop. Now, China has sided with America in the quest to prevent North Korea from becoming a full-fledged nuclear power, which would be dangerous for the whole human race itself. President Trump is able to convince China to work with us by promising more favorable trade deals for their cooperation. The phone call between Trump and Taiwan is also looming large in the minds of Chinese officials. China's primary concern is working with us while preventing the outbreak of war. If the Korean peninsula engages in open fight, China will be flooded by refugees that they would be unable to support. Despite the efforts of China, North Korea has shown no signs of backing down. They vow to continue to develop nuclear weapons, and they have not stopped engaging in military parades or exercises after being scolded by China. President Trump has deployed the nuclear-propelled supercarrier USS Carl Vinson around the Korean peninsula. The massive vessel has been joined with Japanese and South Korean military officials, and the three countries continue military exercises in the region. Our allies South Korea and Japan are both vulnerable to attack by North Korea, who currently has the capability to bomb both of them. Chinese officials say they are maintaining close contacts with American military officials in the region. Let's hope they continue to stay on our side. Did you support this move? Please share the story on Facebook and tell us what you think, because we want to hear your voice. Look, Trump invites very special guest to White House that'll have supporters cheering. Only a week ago, aid worker Ai Hijazi was marking yet another day in the almost 3 years she has spent in an Egyptian prison awaiting trial on bogus charges. On Friday, she was the guest of honor at the White House, after President Donald Trump was quietly able to convince Egyptian authorities to release Hijazi, who holds American and Egyptian citizenship. "We are very happy to have Ai back home," Trump said during a brief Oval Office photo op with Hijazi, who returned from Egypt late Thursday. "It's a great honor to have her in the Oval Office with her brother." Trump praised Hijazi for showing great strength during the time she was in prison. White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer said Trump directly engaged behind the scenes and raised the issue privately with Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. Spicer said Trump made clear how important it was to him that Hijazi be released. "Today, the president is proud to be welcoming her back to the White House and happy that she is back home on American soil," Spicer said. Hijazi flew back to America on a U.S. military plane accompanied by Dinah Powell, the Deputy White House National Security Advisor for Strategy. "It's been a roller coaster of emotions the past couple of days," Basil Hijazi, Ai Hijazi's brother, said Thursday. "We're crying with relief to have them out. We're very grateful that President Trump personally engaged with the issue. Working closely with the Trump administration was very important for my family at this critical time. It let us be reunited as a family. We're so grateful," he said. Trump had become aware of Hijazi's case in January, and had been seeking to have her released since then, Spicer said. Hijazi had been held without trial for 33 months on human trafficking charges. Although the Obama administration had sought her release, that administration's pleas were rebuffed by Egyptian officials. On Sunday, Hijazi was formally acquitted of all charges by an Egyptian court, which also released 7 other people who worked with street children. Those included her husband, who had been jailed along with her. Boom, Trump deploys powerful weapon. North Korea panicking. "We have been at odds with North Korea for years now. No one has known quite what to do about them until President Trump stepped into office. Aside from the air carrier, submarine fleet, and foot soldiers our military and Trump placed around the communist country, we now have a new weapon to help us." The U.S. Air Force sent a nuclear sniffer around the Korean peninsula. Via Yonhap News. The purpose of the sniffer, WC-135 Constant Phoenix, is to test and see if North Korea is currently testing nuclear weapons. It goes through the atmosphere and gathers samples to detect and inform us if there has been a nuclear explosion in the area. After all of the threats that North Korea has made towards us, we need to check and make sure they are not planning something drastic. The Constant Phoenix is also able to identify whether or not there were any changes in the atmosphere from the last time it checked, even if the difference is non-nuclear. We have heard unconfirmed rumors that North Korea spoke with China about their plans for nuclear experimentation. It would be odd to discover this information were true, especially considering that China has been siding with us up until this point. Information has come in from South Korea informing the United States that the North Korean military is ready to launch their 6th nuclear test at their known Punggye-ri site. They are allegedly just waiting on orders from Kim Jong-un. The North Koreans have been allowed to run amok for too long. They need to know that they are on watch and that their threats are being taken seriously. If they try to strike against us, we will bring them down in one fell swoop. It is great to finally have a president that is willing to stand up for us in our time of need. The former president, Obama, let everything slide and never once even issued a warning to the North Koreans. How long would it have taken for Obama to say something? Would he have waited until after our country was buried in nuclear fallout? I thank God every day that the traitor-in-chief is no longer in office and we now have a president dedicated to making America safe again. We are following this story closely because it is paramount to our future. If we end up in a military conflict with North Korea, it is only because Kim Jong-un was allowed to test his hardware without anyone stepping up. Now that we have President Trump by our side, you can bet that we will not back down. We will get the North Korean situation squared away at any cost. Watch, here's how Lil Kim thinks a NK-US war would look. Saturday was the Day of the Sun in North Korea, the biggest holiday on the North Korean calendar. Dictator Kim Jong-un presided in his usual style, in this case parading missiles, troops, and military equipment through the streets in tight formations. To cap it all off, the Kim regime showed a video of nuclear missiles hitting San Francisco and turning it into a lake of fire. And he shows that off with a live orchestra? Yes, proving yet again that he would be hilarious if he were a murderous dictator who somehow possesses nuclear weapons. Lil Kim gave a concert during the weekend in which a screen behind the orchestra showed the Bay Area being pelted by atomic warheads. According to SFGate, the concert was the grand finale of the Day of the Sun festivities. While it looks like something out of Dr. Strangelove, this really did happen. And holy moly, is it insane! Those missiles that hit San Francisco in the video, by the by, were the same type of supposed missiles that were shown off during the parade. I say supposed because many analysts believe them to be fake. The UK Sun reported that they were wobbling during the parade, leading many to believe they might be made out of something flimsier than aerospace-grade metal. While that wouldn't be surprising, given North Korea's dire economic straits, the fact is that they're slowly moving towards a place in which their technology could mean they would be able to blackmail the world with nuclear weapons. The fact that this insane man has been dealt with through strategic patience for so many years is simply unbelievable. The North Koreans now say they will test missiles weekly, which means that confrontations with this demented bully are going to become more and more common. The Trump administration needs to do something about North Korea and its deranged leader, and they need to do it now. Please like and share on Facebook and Twitter if you agree. What are your thoughts on Kim Jong-un? Scroll down to comment.